LL Nation, what's good? We in this piece. You see your boy represent Lakewood football out there in LA.
That's right.
Shaun Davis at SD2 Mics. We are the Lucky Lefty podcast. That dude, the original Lucky Lefty himself, Malik Zaire, featuring and brought to you by Onora Whisky. Go to OnoraWhisky.com, that premium American whiskey. OnoraWhisky.com, and shout out to everybody. We had a couple of people in LL Nation hit us up in the comments from yesterday's show talking about Onora Whisky being around the Notre Dame campus.
That's right.
Being available for purchase, man, and putting the selfies out there. We appreciate you guys so very much. Let's get into it today, bro. We're on the heels of one of the most successful interviews we've ever had, the Carnell Tate interview. Everybody loved it. He loved it. His parents loved it. We got good feedback. We hope the LL Nation and the Notre Dame fan base loved it. We hope you feel really good about his recruitment after the interview. So we're going to talk about some of the things that stood out from that interview for us. Today, we're also going to talk about the three biggest areas of concern for us going into the offseason. And then just more recruiting news. Like, if I'm not mistaken, I think Tommy stopped in. Marcus stopped in on Carnell Friday, and Tommy and Marcus both went back to IMG to not only see Carnell, but then to talk to five-star linebacker Samuel and Pemba. Look, man, somebody asked me a question yesterday. How many 5-stars would Notre Dame get in the 2023 class? And the way they're going at it, like yesterday they saw 5-star. I think they saw at least 9 5-stars yesterday.
Yeah.
From the recruiting.
And that's what we should be recruiting off the top.
The entire staff raided the state of Texas yesterday. All at the same time.
All over.
It was crazy.
Texas is big.
Texas is big. Texas is big. So we're going to get to that as well. And, of course, we'll get to your questions, man. We'll get to your questions. I see D. Beasy, 77th and South Shore. So you right down the street from the country club.
That's right.
Nice golf course. Nice 9-hole golf course right there, right off the lake. Beautiful area. If you came back now, D. Beasy, you wouldn't recognize it. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of building going on over there. So let's get into it, bro. If you had 3 areas of concern, the 3 biggest areas of concern, because I'm excited to see if we agree on this. The 3 biggest areas of concern for next season, what would they be for you?
One would be the quarterback.
Still, even after we talked about the lay of the land yesterday, quarterback is still.
I want to see it. I know it's shaping up to be good, but I want to see it because if we go out there and kick butt at that position, that first game, I think we got a shot for the playoffs. Absolutely. So it'll tell a lot, that first game with the quarterback being good, really good. The second thing of concern, I would probably say interesting, the linebacking core. I want to see how that shapes out. I know we've heavily recruited it. I know we looking to, put a lot of pieces into it. I want to see Prince Conley get in there and shake things up. And I think that's going to be the core of the team that everything else is going to emanate after, especially the defense. And then the last thing I want to see is just the command of Marcus Freeman and Tommy. I want to see that relationship be cohesive to where, I know Tommy's running the ship, but if Marcus has a piece, that he has to throw in there, that they can work together in game situations, be better suited for the offense. So I want to see that relationship works because that can be a huge problem. It can be a huge problem that can build up in the middle of the season when we don't need that. So those are the 3 things for me.
I'm going to differ just a little bit. We know quarterback For me, that's like the low hanging fruit. I really wanted to dig in on this. So my three biggest concerns. Number one, and a lot of people might not understand why I say this, but I have to go ahead and give context. Number one for me is without question the linebackers.
Yeah.
I love Kaiser, I love Bertrand, but look here, man.
That's gotta,
It's Prince Collie time. It's Prince Collie time.
It's Prince Collie time.
and Jalen Sneed might have to be under the he might have to be Justin Adamiola might have to give up his number. Because that number nine is meant for special people.
It's a special number now.
That's a special number. So he might have to swap that out with Jalen Sneed. and Jalen Sneed might be under that freshman to start act.
He might get some of that early freshman action.
Yeah.
He should. I mean, the linebacking core should be pretty good next year. It should be.
So that's my number one concern. Because we know that there are unknown variables on the offensive side of the ball.
Okay.
So that defense really has to step up, bro. And that's crazy because the defense carried this team the majority of the year.
For years.
You can get upset for years, absolutely. Even this year, you get the let down in the Fiesta Bowl. That's cool. We didn't like it, but now, they started training yesterday with Matt Bayless. So now it's like, endurance needs to be better. All right, especially with this. The schedule is much, much tougher than it was last season.
The toughest it's been in years.
So that endurance, that depth, it's a good thing that everybody came back.
Yep.
They wanted to come back and be under the MF era. But that linebacking core really needs to step up. And you might see a lot of freshmen getting a lot of playing time. Jalen Sneed leading the way.
And it's got to be led by them on defense because we're going with a 3-down front.
That reason. Go ahead.
And it's just like you said, man, that's the staple. It's even more important defensively because we're playing some really good offensive teams. You just saw Brandon Rice commit to USC, and I told you guys we should have got him. But he's ended up going to USC. He's going to, so we'll see him in the future. But that goes into the offenses that are building in the season that we're playing. So defense, especially linebackers, got to be in sync. And I'm really excited, like you said, about seeing those freshmen in there because of that speed factor and the playmaking ability. I know Jalen Sneed will be a playmaker.
Yeah.
I feel like J.D. Bertrand is going to get better. I trust that he's going to get in the gym. And then I trust that these other young guys coming in are going to shake it up, especially in that middle of the field area that like Fiesta Bowl was just so open. It's going to be a lot more traffic in there, especially with blue Notre Dame jerseys.
Lucky Lefty podcast, Shaun Davis, Malik, Zaire. We're talking about the three biggest concerns that we have going into the offseason. After the linebackers, now this is where everybody's going to look at me, with the screw face. Defensive line.
No, yeah, agreed. I agree with that.
I need more, man.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, you didn't show up in the Fiesta Bowl.
Mm-mm.
You didn't show up. Spencer Sanders was a little bit too clean.
Second half. Isaiah Fauski had 1 sack, and that was in the first.
And that was in the first series. So the defensive line has to step it up. And on the interior, the rush defense gave up way too many big plays.
Yeah.
And that's the D-line and the linebackers working together. I need
that. Start with the D-line. We done seen what a super sweet D-line look like.
Right.
And how it just controlled the run game. And it's like they had to go to the pass.
Right.
If we are forcing teams to pass because the D-line is just cutting that out, I mean, that's a great ingredient for a national championship team.
Like over the last 5 years, I believe Notre Dame is averaging giving up 87 yards per game on the ground, which is pretty good. I mean, anytime you're under 100, That's a good defense. That's a good rush defense. But championship rush defense sits around 55 to 60.
And we can get there. It's only about 30-something yards, but we can close the gap. You know, some teams giving up 150 yards rushing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know everybody thinks, man, yo, I know you're about to say cornerback with everything that happened with C. Lou. Nope.
Because I feel like they focus on that number one going in.
That's not even. That ain't it. My third concern is wide receiver, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Yeah.
Just like you need to see it from the quarterbacks, I need to see it. New wide receiver coach, Chancey Stuckey, I need to see it.
He got a lot of work cut out, though.
I need you to get off press. Dude, the most, and we'll get into it. Did you understand? This is why Carnell Tate is a much get. Remember, he told a story about the competition when he first got down there, and he said, I went up against this cornerback from Texas.
Yeah.
This kid from Dallas. And he was like, yo, he came up to me in a rep, and he jump bumped me. And he was like, I had never seen it.
Never seen it.
He said, I've never seen it. But the fact that he recognized it, like, oh, this kid knows, all right.
What he's going against.
So if a high school junior is working on bump release, what the heck? What's going on in Notre Dame, bro? Like, what are we talking about? We did an interview with a high school junior with recognition of technique being used against him by a cornerback and talking about having to adjust. A high school junior.
Yeah.
And we had an entire wide receiver core that struggled to get off bump and run.
Yeah.
So for me, that's a huge concern.
But that speaks to the difference between the type of players that you get. Like, not all football players are football players. You see what I'm saying? You can get guys that are athletic.
So you're talking about getting track guys and turning them into wide receivers?
Yeah, there's some guys that are just football guys. They may not be the fastest, but they're football guys, so they're going to be around the football. They're going to make plays, this, that, and third. There's a lot of receivers that love the game and study the game that are very talented, like a Carnell Tate, that are reasons why they're 5 stars, you know.
Yeah.
And then there's guys that we get sometimes that are talented, but may not be the football IQ talent that we're looking to get. And, you know, you talk about Chancey Stuckey coming in there and developing those guys. Sometimes you got to gauge the room. Not everybody understands what Carnell Tate may understand at junior year because you're getting guys because they're fast or whatever the case is. I agree with you. He's a must get because he's the all-around receiver that does get it. Yeah. And when you get a guy like that in a room with Chancey Stuckey, that's where you see number one receiver. You see a Drake London pop up. You see a guy that's all over the place getting the ball because it's a kid that's putting his 50% in with a guy that now, you know, Chancey Stuckey can't work magic. I don't want anybody to think that he's about to get in there and just in one day make us better than Ohio State's receiver room. And I'm not expecting that for the first game, but I do think that he'll give a base for guys to know stuff like that. Okay, I know what I'm going against. At least I can do some different things to get off of it, but that's what we're looking for. So it is interesting to see how the difference between a guy like a Carnell Tate, who we're telling everybody this is the guy we need because it's going to develop that room outside of what the coach is going to do.
Right.
We may just have guys that are just athletes. I mean, we got a team right now that are two-way players.
Basically.
So technique is definitely not on the high end of where we are right now, especially because we're young. So we're trying to get more guys like Carnell that can be a great asset to a developing team with a bunch of superstar talent. You know, that's how you develop that chemistry.
So when I talk about the wide receivers, and like I said, it was easy to go ahead and say based upon what, you know, Oklahoma State did to Clarence Lewis and it was easy to say, oh, cornerback. But honestly, dude, cornerback's been an issue at Notre Dame for how long?
Years. Back when I was playing.
It's not even my concern.
Yeah, like
that's
everybody
like, okay.
Like, yeah. Like.
So, we have guys like we have youngsters that redshirted, like Philip Riley, that are talented, that are going to get an opportunity. If C. Lou doesn't step up, that's going to be on him.
Yeah, Philip Riley.
They go get Brandon Joseph. They solidify the safety position. You still have Houston Griffith coming back, Xavier Watts. You have depth on the back end.
Cam Hart.
Yes, so if you got a dude in Cam Hart, the safety's solidified, and just one side that I have to worry about, I have to worry about the entire linebacking core. You want to talk about one dude getting exposed? The entire linebacking core got exposed in the Fiesta Bowl. The entire wide receiver core got exposed, except for Lorenzo.
Yeah, I mean, and he should have got the ball even more.
So,
and they got exposed with 500 yards in the air.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So, yeah. I think it's damn near better that we didn't win it because we wouldn't be as critical on what we need to be ready for going into the first game next year.
Man, so we'll see. We'll see. It's a lot. Like you said, man, I'm looking forward to the recruiting changing and us solving issues with people that play that position rather than getting people in, recruiting them for one side, and then having to flip them to the other side because we don't have an answer.
Because we don't have an answer.
Because we don't have an answer. Like
we should make it like everybody just do a combine when you get here, and we'll just start picking it out. You know what I mean? That's how it shouldn't be like, damn, everybody in the room is getting toasted. We got to find somebody else on the team.
Facts. So, man, let's get to, before we dive in a little more, our guy Eugene Williams, thank you for tapping in. I did listen to the In the Garage podcast with the guys. They said that the tempo on defense, it was the tempo on defense from Oklahoma State and play calling. I heard that. Let me tell you something, man. Hell learn. Stop copping, please, man.
Yeah, stop
copping, please.
Stop doing it. Stop doing it.
Players shouldn't be talking about play calling.
Definitely should be talking about play calls because if anything, when you're going against tempo, there's no play call.
No.
What do you mean? It's make the tackle.
They went to tempo to keep you from going to your checks.
Yeah, to keep you from play calling, they got to go fast because if they didn't, the play caller would be whooping their ass like it did in the first half.
Right.
What do you mean? That's called an adjustment. So what y'all do to adjust to that is you got to be simple and make plays. Like,
that's it. That's it. Simple and make plays. When you get an opportunity for a 10-yard sack, make the play.
Yeah, because you got to remember the offense is running tempo. They're simple too. They was just throwing bubbles and slants. What do you mean? What do you mean play calling? A bubble and a slant and a go route. Wait, come on, we got to stop.
That's pretty much it. And I heard it, and I was like, come on, man. And it's funny because Cam Hart was kind of sitting to the side, like.
Because Cam, no, when you a dude, you be like, come on, bro, stop it.
Cam was like, man, I didn't really get to play. They didn't throw the ball my way. So
they know because look, they said, look, we got linebackers running with chicken with their head cut off. We got Clarence Lewis out there on clearance, and we going for the sale. What do you mean?
Lucky Lovely podcast. Let's get into it. We're talking about the 3 biggest areas of concern. So we want to hear from you guys, man. What are your 3 biggest areas of concern? DBZ checking in. Concern is DT, nose guard, and safety.
Shoot, I agree. We get that DT and nose guard situations right.
I've been saying it all year, bro. I've been saying it all year. We need some big boys up front. I
mean, just one. We need one. If we have one Jordan Davis, if we could throw that in the backyard or something, because it would just make the defense look that much more intimidating, and it'll help those linebackers too gapping. Let Prince Collie roam back there like number 9 from when I played.
Man, do you understand how? Do you understand how it would feel? Just how easy the game is. I don't want to make us easy. I didn't play the game, so let me retract the word easy. Somebody might take it out of context. Do you know how comfortable the game is for a linebacker when you have guys like that in front of you?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know how comfortable Kobe Dean is to just go make plays?
AKA Manti, 2012.
Speak on it.
You got Tuitt, Nix, Sheldon in there, Prince Shimbo, Eshak, Romeo. Come on, man. Of course Manti is a Hall of Famer. What do you mean? He's out there making plays like it's practice drills.
Just mad comfortable.
You got a potential Hall of Famer into it.
Yeah.
You got Louis Nix, who was top 5 in the draft. And you got Prince Shimbo, who should have been higher in the draft. What did you get from that? A championship defense. Because Manti was looking all world. Now, Manti, give him credit, he was really good. But that D-line made it really, really easy. We saw what happened when the D-line wasn't as effective in the Alabama game.
Yeah.
It got ugly quick.
Yeah.
So it just shows you how important those guys up front are, especially in the defensive running.
And that's why I say, getting that big guy, the 2 defensive tackles on the East Coast and the DMV area are very, very important. Very important. And Jason Moore, too. Jason Moore is another 5-star checking in on. You put him with Keon Keeley. It's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem in Notre Dame for about 2 to 3 years.
That's right.
All right, let's get to some more of your concerns. Some more. Drunk Vigo said, my biggest concern is we don't have a DC or running backs coach.
Running backs, we're going to be good.
Running back coaches.
And DC, we taking our time now. Taking our time now. Come on now.
Running back coach is probably, I'll give you a perfect example. My boy, and I'm cool with him because we interviewed him, Nathan Shieldhouse, he was a quarterback at Illinois. I think you guys played around the same time, too.
Yeah,
Nathan, I think, is from the St. Louis area. And he's a running backs coach. Now, this dude was a quarterback, my man. And this dude was a running back coach. And I'm not, look, DC, I get it. Running back coach, I don't care who they hire as running back coach. The running backs go as that offensive line goes.
Yeah.
Period. You can put a 2-star behind a head.
I don't know, though, because
I guarantee you.
I'll give you an example.
I got 3 running backs. I got 3 running backs in Chicago that are probably high 2 or 3 stars. That if you put them behind a Notre Dame legendary offensive line, they will do work. Now, I'm not saying there'll be a 5-star, there'll be a Travion Henderson. But if all you want is production, like that's what you want, Adams was like a 3-star when he came to Notre Dame. Tony Jones is like a 3-star.
Yeah. The running backs definitely ate the years I was there.
Like, what are we talking about? Like, because we've seen people the last 2 days talk about Autry Denson not recruiting, but yet still.
What do you mean? Autry Denson had a bunch of talent.
But the guys he recruited put in work.
Yeah,
like, what do you want?
Josh went to the league. What are you talking about?
Do you want?
Tony Jones went to the league. Tony Jones playing for the Saints. What do you mean? Come on, cut it out.
Production, or you want to just go after 5 stars? It's like, how do you want to build your offense? It's very similar to drafting in the NFL. Like, do we reach for a running back, or do we build our offensive line?
I've never ever seen a top team complain about not having a running back coach.
No.
Ever. Like, I've never seen Ohio State or Clemson or Alabama be like, damn, we big time hiring for a running back coach. It's probably an assistant running it.
And I guarantee the only reason Notre Dame fans have love for a running back coach at Ohio State, the only reason they love Tony Alford and really know him is because he was here. That's it. Tell me the running back coach from Michigan.
Don't know him.
Tell me the running back coach from Texas.
Well,
they got one of the coldest running backs.
Wait a minute. Coach Alford had Zeke.
That's my point. But people stay connected to him because he was at Notre Dame.
For sure.
That's my point. Tell me the running back. Bijan is cold. Tell me his running back coach.
I have no idea.
No clue.
But Bijan Robinson is nice. I wish he would get the transfer portal.
Don't look it up on Google. Don't go Google it. Tell me his running back coach.
I have no idea. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Not with a guy like Bijan.
And I'm not going to say it doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah.
But it's like, come on,
man. It definitely matters because you need to know how to block. 1,000% it matters. You need to know how to block. But from just we running left, they're going to tell you like which holes and how to press and all that stuff. But, I mean, a lot of guys that are talented on this level don't need a lot of coaching.
And tell me what running back coach at Notre Dame hasn't produced.
Yeah, like Archie Denson got a head coaching job from that.
It's like people upset. Oh, we got to do better. Okay. Lance Taylor came in. He went after more highly decorated recruits, probably than Archie Denson. But Archie Denson was a dude that got it from the mud. He wasn't heralded.
I mean,
look at the production he put up. And look, that's why we talk about Tommy, right? Like when you're a coach, you look for traits
of yourself.
Of yourself. So when Archie Denson was here, he went after guys that he saw like, okay, he'll go get it.
And I think Archie would have got a guy like Kyron.
Yeah.
If that was on the recruiting board, he would have got a guy like Kyron. And Kyron was watching what Autry was doing with the running backs before. What do you mean? Yeah. That's why he wanted to go there. But yeah, I agree. If anything, I don't know if people are wanting like a Herschel Walker or something at school, but that's not even where the game is right now.
Yeah, the DC at this point, you know what? I'm gonna be honest, yo. Marcus Freeman at this point is telling you what's more important. He's like, yo, I had a guy he cocked that I thought was the guy. He wanted to come in and change everything. I'm not rocking with that. I'm rocking with my guys. Either you want to be the DC or you don't. You want to stay at Iowa State? Cool. But we don't have a DC yet. But these recruits are more important.
He said, I'll DC it.
Yeah, I'll DC or I'll find a DC.
Yeah.
We can do interviews on Zoom, on the plane, on the PJ. But I'm getting out here and getting these 5 stars. That's what I'm doing. And that's the most important thing. Like, you're not sweating getting a coach in place.
Never.
Go get these 5. You get Samuel and Pimpa and David Hicks at linebacker. Dude, you can DC. Because when cats go tempo and everything simplifies, it's like, okay, dog, make a play.
Yeah, and that's when you close your eyes. That's when teams stop doing tempo.
5 stars. Make plays.
We got to scheme it up because we can't. They too good. So that just shows you Oklahoma State knew that player for player in that secondary and linebacking core, they can win.
Yeah.
When you go tempo like that, you say,
wait a minute, say that again. That's you just said something right there, bro. Say that again. No, I think fans, because we tried to say it in the post-game show, but say that again. What did Oklahoma State recognize?
Oklahoma State said we can beat these guys being simple by up-tempo. If we let these guys scheme and get to moving around and using all them blitz and all that stuff, we have no chance. But player for player, I can cook him one-on-one when they're just being basic. And that's what they did the whole time. You think teams try to do that with Georgia, Tennessee tried to do it with Georgia, it couldn't last all game. Because at the end of the day, they got a guy that's making $50,000 a guy that's playing for a little bit more encouragement. And he's just a better player than your one-on-one player. So all them slants, bubbles, and goals are just or catch tackles or incompletes.
Yeah.
They're not gassed. You know what I mean? So that's where we're headed to where teams can't run tempo. So I think that'll be a thing of the past moving forward.
Let's get to some other concerns we see from LL Nation. Oh, John Bell. Thank you, man. Tapping in from Detroit. John Bell. Yo, you got a connection to a certain quarterback up there? We might need to send some NIL stuff through you, bro.
Yeah, it's the care packages, man.
Care package.
Man.
Let's see. Jay Clampin Investments. As always, thank you for tagging in. Concern number one is quarterback. If Buckner isn't it, we lose 4 games.
I think I can agree with that.
Because of the schedule? You think because of the schedule? You saying that because of
I think it's just like, you're going to need a quarterback to beat Ohio State, even with a stellar defense.
Yeah.
You're going to need to make some plays. Clemson the same way.
Yeah.
And shoot, SC maybe, anybody if he's not the it guy, any of them teams can snag us for real, because all our games this last year was close. It wasn't like we were just like Virginia Tech was close. It's not an it guy loses that game. You know what I mean? And we might be playing in the toilet bowl. Who knows? Shit, I mean, Jack was making some throws in some of them games that we should have won by more, but end up making it close, like that Virginia Tech game, the Purdue game, the Toledo game. I mean, that's some big time plays or moments that could have changed our whole season, but we're thinking so forward, like, oh, it's easy to win because we got better teams, but we making it so close.
Eugene Williams responding. That was Cam's face. I'm telling you, the whole time they talking about speed, they sped it up, play calling. Cam was like, man, I'm going on a European trip, dude. That's what I'm doing when we get out of school. So
yeah, dudes ain't worried about that.
Man, like they didn't throw. That's pretty much Jalen Ramsey after every game. Like, I can't tell you what they were trying to do offensively because
I mean, I was good.
Let's see. Nick Cole Pitts, quarterback development. All right, that's 1. What do you have for 2 and 3? John Bell, quarterback, wide receiver, and Tommy Reese development. I'm assuming TR development.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see an offense that's averaging 35 points a game.
I need to see 40.
Shoot, I mean,
I need to see 40.
We're gonna have some first rounders. We do that.
If you average 40 in the regular season, that means you can put up 30 in the college football playoffs, which is what's needed. Now you're averaging 30, 35. That means you're going to put up somewhere in the 20s.
Yeah.
So we need to get up to 40 consistently, especially against teams that have less talent. Like I said, that's like the next step I need to see. The very next step, like the next MAC team. Let me
He's in trouble. Gotta be in trouble.
The next MAC team that comes into Notre Dame, bro.
Oh, you're on the schedule.
Man. Matter of fact, no. The Fighting Cane Maddens come to Notre Dame Stadium the week after Ohio State. And I don't care what happens in that game.
There's got to be a gap.
The Fighting Cane Maddens have to get a 40 spot minimum.
Regardless of the game.
Regardless of what happens at Ohio State.
Regardless.
That's a 40 spot minimum. I almost want to say the Cal Bears can get it the next week.
Oh, Cal definitely. Now Cal, but that'll test our secondary. You see what I'm saying? So let's not have a shootout either,
UNLV, when they come in,
oh, definitely
40 spot. Like, without question.
40.
Easy.
Any team in that New Mexico, Vegas area, 40, 50 spot. Like, regions of the country should have point margins. Like,
yeah. Weez and the Juice, quarterback, nose tackle, and wide receiver, with linebacker being a sneaky fourth, because we don't know who's going to hit the field. I think we do. J.D. Bertrand and Kaiser are going to be out there.
They're going to be out there, yeah.
They're going to be out there. You know, you're not just about to throw a bunch of young players out there, but I do believe Prince Collie is going to be out there as well. I think they stick Kaiser. Kaiser probably goes to that rover position.
Yeah, he makes.
And they stick Bertrand, and then Bo is coming back as well. So they have depth at the position, but that depth has to play a whole lot better. That's all we're saying. Like, it's nice to have depth, but that depth has to play a whole lot better.
I agree. Definitely got to play a whole lot more consistent, you know.
Going back to what we talked about, Sorrowful Rage, Manti in the championship game.
I'm not hearing that, man. It's the championship game. How you mentally anything other than locked in the biggest game?
The only thing that changed is 300-pound dudes will get into the second level. That's it.
The only thing that changed.
That's the only thing that changed. That dude saw 300 pounders get into the second level.
They gave him mental health issues. All year. Yeah, they gave him mental health issues. Them combo blocks. And Eddie Lacy. I mean, good grief.
They stopped Eddie. They stopped Eddie Lacy for like a 3-yard loss on the first play from scrimmage. And after that,
him and TJ Yeldon all day on some crazy stuff.
A young TJ Yeldon.
Yeah, young. That's what Alabama had the running game on lock. They didn't even have Derrick Henry yet.
Jeff Luke said, number 1, Reese play calling. 2, O-line taking to Houston teaching style.
Look, there's no way the O-line doesn't get better. It's just no way. Like, Houston could turn me and you into first rounders, at least second rounders, at least. I got to get my weight up, but technique, I'm going to be, controlling that line of scrimmage, though.
Right. Royal Fingers, cornerback, quarterback, and OC.
I'm never going to say quarterback because I just don't want it to be an issue anymore. I just feel like if we don't talk about it, it'll just turn into the
best. Turn around.
Yeah, because I'm tired of talking about it.
Let's see. If we're going whole program, it's Reeves, DC, and quarterback.
That's big picture. I like it.
If BK was still the coach, I'm not worried about this DC hire, bro. I'm just not.
No.
I'm just not.
He been knocking out the park with the DC hires.
That's the one. See, because Tommy has autonomy on the offensive side. Whomever the DC is, MF is still the guy. That's
what I'm saying. It's just he need a assistant almost. He don't really need.
It's his system.
Somebody to take over the whole thing. Like, that's why he didn't get the other dude. What do you mean? Like,
and like I said, he knows what he wants defensively, and he has prioritized going out and getting the pieces over getting the coach.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, I'm hired coach. I'm gonna go get these pieces for my defense. Because if I get these pieces,
we can coach later.
Yeah, we can coach them up. We're gonna coach them up. But I'm about to go hit the road and get these pieces. We're gonna
especially make it early on in the years. Now, once you get, fine tuning, then you get pieces.
Man. And that's a departure from what we've seen previously at Notre Dame from a recruiting standpoint.
Yeah, we've been finding pieces.
It was all about, let's find these, let's spend 3 weeks, reaching out to coaches, and we haven't reached out to any recruits. Our own recruits haven't heard from us. Our own commits haven't heard from us, but we're really going out getting these coaches.
Yeah, we got Matt LaFleur. I know it took a lot to get that.
And Marcus Freeman's like, nah, I'm getting these pieces.
Straight
and
up.
We'll coach them up. Pierre, once the O-line gets clicking, Shaun will be able to carry the mail for ND. You ain't lying. Back in the day, Yeah. I'm telling you, man, dude, I can't. You guys tell me because I don't have time to look it up. What's the last 5-star running back? Notre Dame. Was it Marquise Stepp? That was like the last 5-star they committed. And he never.
Was Sierra Wood 5-star?
I don't think Sierra was 5. He might have been a 4. I don't think he was a 5.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see.
That's what I'm saying. GV. GV was a 5-star.
Okay.
Greg Bryan, that's my guy.
Yeah, Gary was a 5-star. He might have been the last one. Let's see. Michael Johnson. SD Malik, what do you think about Javon Baker, wide receiver who transferred from Bama? Look, man, any transfer from Bama, the fact you left Bama makes you look
real good.
Makes you look real good.
So it's just because of rank, I can't even really evaluate you past like a B. I'm just assuming that you just gonna come in at least being a strong number 2.
That's fact.
That's benefit of the doubt.
Oh man. I think that's it. Got Will Chestnut checking in. Our linebackers aren't slow, they're small.
It wasn't coming with intensity. That's what I would say. You saw that championship game. The Kobe Dean was blitzing with intensity, running through stuff, timing the blitz, all of that.
And I would kind of Drew White isn't the fastest.
Yeah. We know he ain't.
He isn't the fastest linebacker.
Like, come on. I could beat him in a race. Probably not. I don't know.
Right now?
It'd be close.
Right now, you walk on the field and stretch, you're running about what, a 4 or 6?
I'm getting the first down. That's moves included, though.
Yeah, like that's. I don't think
moves weren't sold separately for me, so I know I can get at least 10 untouched.
Michael Johnson says they need to put up a 65 spot against Marshall, dude.
And UNLV. I mean, that's just. We put things on the Christmas list. I know it's early. We put 65. I'm booking the trip to the championship early, week 1.
Michael Johnson says quarterback, wide receiver, and cornerback. You know what? For some reason, man, like I said, maybe it's that. Cornerback for me is just like. Yo,
I'm not saying nothing till I mean? We just gonna keep acting like it's nothing until it pops out. I mean, think about it. We've been talking secondary for years, and we've had Kyle Hamilton, Julian Love, Cole Luke, Troy Pride. We've got guys in the league. It's just coming together at Notre Dame's been different.
Oh, geez. Ashley Hill, I don't know what. She said, how can we be a powerhouse program? Get OJTOC. And then you said, we O-line you, but Land's got no 5-star running backs, but get an OC job.
Look, you go to Notre Dame, you get a job.
Facts. And your running backs put in work.
Yeah, and especially, I mean, think about this. Especially if you're a running back coach, you just got to sit in that position long enough. We got the O-line that's going to do their job mostly for you. especially pass pickup. So now you just got to be a tough son of a gun. That's probably why running backs have been glorified in our offense because they just had to do their job.
Yeah.
Everybody around them are usually stellar enough for them to just play the easiest out of all the other positions.
Dude, that's all. Low key, we just saw that Alabama just offered Carnell Tate. Come on, man. We knew that was coming.
You know, Alabama got eyes everywhere. That's why they've been on top for
Alabama
so
just
long.
offered Keon Keeley. They, you know,
I just hope that they hit the subscribe button when they're watching the Lucky Lefty pod, giving them all this sauce on who to go after. And they like and share this with Saban, you know.
let's see. Weezy Juice said, I don't want MF to be too attentive to the D and miss what's happening on Tom's side. I mean, that's the process of being a coach, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think BK was too attentive to the offense initially and was letting the wrong guys just have autonomy on the defensive side. You know, so.
You know, you got to let everybody play their role. I think Marcus Freeman has done a good job of staying in the right lanes.
Yeah.
Of what he needs to be doing, but not overstepping what, you know, is not of as importance. Like if he's chasing after getting Isaiah Fauci to come back more than talking to Carnell Tate, then that's a problem. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
he's been staying in the right lane of chasing recruits first and foremost, and then building the coaches second.
Yeah. So you're right. GB and James Aldridge. Those were the two 5 stars. We lost GB, unfortunately, and James Aldridge just never really amounted to anything. I think he eventually dealt with injuries too. So, all right, bro, let's talk about this interview. Once again, thank you all for making the interview a success last night. The Carnell Tate interview. Yo, thank you, LL Nation. Thank you, the entire Notre Dame fan base. Everybody that watched, supported. We had fun talking to the young man, and it's always conversation for us. I can't even say it was an interview. It was just literally conversation for us. But what stood out after seeing it again, bro? What stood out about that interview?
I like that he chose to go down to IMG to be competitive and to learn more about the game before he goes to college. I think his acknowledgement of what makes his game the best in terms of his hands and being an all-around receiver, which is something I feel like we're missing in some aspect. It would be nice. Obviously, we'll see how Lorenzo Styles develops, but to see a guy that can play the inside and out and be a possession receiver for us, I think it will be huge. You know, it will be huge on making us better as an offense, and I think he'll be a great fit because of his skill set. So seeing that he really takes value in catching the ball is great because I haven't heard one interview from a receiver in a long time from Notre Dame talk about being attentive to catching the ball first and foremost. So
yeah,
that was refreshing, and his ability to describe what it was like being around Marcus Freeman at Notre Dame and his effect on recruiting and how how it starts with him and everything falls after really shows that the direction of what the MF era is bringing is really changing because it's led by a guy who knows where to go.
Lucky Lefty podcast talking about the Carnell Tate interview. What stood out to me, and I think I've mentioned it and teased it a little bit earlier in the show, this kid gets it. He gets the position, the nuances. You know, it's just not about speed. You know, he told you. He's like, these dudes down here, the majority of them are all about speed. I can do everything. I can short game. I can do run without after the catch. I can go across the middle. I can take the top off the defense. and I'm not dropping the ball. He told a story about, that 8th grade tournament where he focused on his hands right after that in 8th grade. And the fact that he made a point to say Notre Dame's was the first squad on me my freshman year in high school. Like, he knew who he was talking to when he was talking to us.
Yeah.
Like, he made it a point to let us know, like, yo, Notre Dame's in this. Very high on my list. Special, first team on me. And his recognition of what Marcus Freeman is doing and how things have changed at Notre Dame is absolutely something. I see people in the chat asking us, what do we feel like he's leaning towards? After we talk to him,
I feel like he's, leaning towards us, but in my opinion, I'm excited that we gave the effort. We've interviewed and talked to other guys where we didn't get the effort. Where I get it, maybe that's not the direction you wanted, but in the position we're in, we're trying to grab, just like everybody that Georgia and Alabama are trying to grab.
And
guys that they recruit that they don't even play,
Yeah.
It's just a part of the recruiting game.
Yeah. And on top of that, very smooth for Marcus Freeman to go see him by himself, then come back 3 days later
with the game,
right? But officially, he's going to see Samuel and Pemba this trip. He just left there. Like, he could have talked to Samuel and Pemba on Friday. He's like, no. I'm going to go ahead, leave, come back, check in on Samuel and Pemba, bring Tommy with me. Hey, Tommy, go talk to Carnell.
I'm going to drop you off over here.
Right.
I'm going to slide up here. We're going to get it both done.
We're going to get both of these kids from IMG, both of these 5 stars. So as I said before, the gold standard that he talked about, the golden standard, getting all of these kids, going after these 5 stars and getting them to Notre Dame, I love it. You have to love it. And, of course, slow feet don't eat. Now, we might have to work out a deal with them on the T-shirt.
Yeah. We might look. It's all a part of that NIL package. The lucky lefties.
We might have to reach out to him.
NIL deals.
And his people, break down the structure, because that needs to be a T-shirt. That flat out needs to be a T-shirt. And I'm sure he got it from his coaches. But the attention to detail, just from talking to this young man, talking about the adjustments he had to make. And the one thing he said, what did he say? When you come down here to IMG, you have to get used to losing. Because everybody that comes down here is the best where they come from. And you have to get used to losing in order to be successful in an environment like this. So we appreciate him. Thank you for giving us the time. And we hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a fantastic interview.
It was, and I hope we'll get to interview him more when he becomes a player.
Yeah. Facts.
We're
just trying to be an asset to the program, bro. That's all.
Hey. All I know is, Indy, cut the check, Indy recruiting office. Cut the check. We're doing the job for you.
So more recruiting news. Man, it was a barnstorm of Texas for the Notre Dame staff on yesterday. Of course, Marcus Freeman and the entire staff hit the state of Texas. They checked in on cornerback Malik Muhammad, 5-star. They also checked in on 4-star cornerback Javon Thomas. Marcus, like I said before, Tommy Rees checked in on Carnell Tate when Marcus Freeman went to check in on Samuel and Pemba. They also checked in on 4-star receiver Rodney Gallagher. They checked in on 5-star defensive lineman David Hicks and 5-star offensive lineman Sullivan Asher. So that was just all those guys. And safeties coach Chris O'Leary went and checked in on 5-star Caleb Downs. And then Gus Ragland, the offensive analyst, went and checked in on 4-star Tyler Williams. And his recruitment was started by Dale Alexander, so they wanted to reacquaint themselves and look for Chancey Stuckey to hop in. He hasn't hit the road yet, but in the coming weeks, he'll get more involved with the wide receiver corps And that's somebody that Carnell's going to have to meet. He's looking forward to meeting. He talked about that offline.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great closer that we're looking for Chancey to be. Go in there and close them deals that Marcus Freeman's been setting up and Tommy's been setting up on the offensive side. I think his experience is going to help when he goes to these houses and sits with these families and just kind of goes through what a lot of these receivers would want to go through in their career. And so another great piece for our program to have somebody that is another relatable guy, just like Marcus Freeman. It's only going to prove to be beneficial moving in the future.
ND for Life says, good morning, LL Nation. Any word about DC? I keep hearing about Derek Mason, but nothing solid. Shaun, you and Malik always keep it 100, so I'm coming to y'all for the real. Thanks for everything.
I think it's a great move. Obviously, it's a wish list pick, and because it's been narrowing down with the names and more Derek Mason's been sticking around, I think it's coming down to a couple guys, including him, but that would be my choice. I think, if anything, Marcus Freeman is getting guys, like you said, that wants to coach under what his structure is for the defense and while he's focused on putting the pieces in there. And I think a guy like Derek Mason is adaptable to a system like that. And plus, it'll be the most talented defense he's probably been around with the recruits and with what the setup is for him. So for a guy that wants to be a team player, this is a great place for you to be at Notre Dame under Marcus Freeman.
Yeah. Michael Park says, biggest thing I took away from the interview, Carnell Tate is not scared and has an infectious smile.
You know, add some personality to that room. We talked about that a little yesterday, man. Maybe having a social media superstar or something would be great for the perception of Notre Dame to change a little bit to make it more exciting to want to be in that room.
Donnie Cruz, love Tate's personality, but I think it was really shown due to who was interviewing him. Great job, guys.
Hey, man, thanks, Nation, man.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
We got more in the tank. I'm telling you, it's going to get even spicier.
And to see the thing, you get a kid like, now see, this is, and maybe you can explain this as a quarterback. And if I'm wrong, flat out tell me I'm wrong, bro. The wide receiver position, all positions are technical when it comes to getting better and performing at a high level on the college level. But what you have to do at the wide receiver position, and this is what stands out, the recognition of the technical aspect of the position from this young man as a high school junior shows you how cerebral he is, along with the gifts and talents that he has physically. To me, that's what makes him special. That's what makes him special. You're getting a guy that can be the magnet to the wide receivers in the 2024 class, 2025 class. Like, yo, Carnell Tate. Like, watch Carnell Tate every Saturday. Man, we got to watch Carnell Tate. Did you see what Carnell Tate did? That's how important he can be to that wide receiver room at Notre Dame.
Yeah, those are guys you want, guys that can reverberate like a Peyton Bowen, that can, his impact can extend to different recruiting classes. And I know that was big for me. You know, I saw Ed quarterbacking at Notre Dame on the national championship level. I said, oh, Notre Dame may be thinking different.
Yeah.
I said, okay, they let the brother get up there and, you know, get as far as he did. I know I got a chance too. So I know that was a factor that played in my own recruiting. So seeing a guy like Tate, who's as infectious as he is, I think people are going to watch and just gravitate towards that. I think LSU got a lot of popularity at receiver because of Jarvis Landry and Odell during that time. And I know it was a distant gap, but I know they watched enough LSU tape at the time to know who it was, you know. And so I think for us, Tate is going to be a great piece in affecting other classes, but as well as promoting competition within the room.
Yeah.
And getting guys like Lindsey, well, he won't be there, but younger guys like Styles, you know, motivated and pushed as an older guy, you know, to know that the competition room is definitely increased.
Not only that, like I said, you know, you come in and you stack youngsters with vets, right? And I think that's what got teams like Ohio State are able to do.
Like Chris Olave.
They give you a Chris Olave and a Garrett Wilson, and then have an Njigba Smith coming right behind them. And then coming right behind Njigba Smith is Marvin Harrison, Jr. And you just start stacking. And that's the process. You can start stacking Lorenzo with the Carnell Tate. And then you can go to the 24 class and just start stacking wide receivers. And you see the greatness. And that's when you start to get the brand that wide receivers come from this university, whether it's Ohio State, LSU, you start to get that brand for the program.
That's right. That's right. And when it goes to are you a Notre Dame fit, that's where it comes from. And I think too, I want to see how that ability and technique can be transferred into fitting into an offense.
Yeah.
Where you have requirements and restrictions and things you got to do to make the offense go. And that's been kind of a stumbling block for us, is allowing coaches and players that have their unique talents being able to fit well within what they're asked to do in the offense. Like sometimes it's not about the release, it's more about getting there on time. And I think if those traits of Carnell can switch over and transition to fitting in that, I think he's the guy that could be like a Golden Tate. You know what I mean? And get a lot of reception and production from that position.
Let's see, Marcel Jones, thank you for tapping in. What's up, fam? Watching from Spartanburg, South Carolina. Okay. Spartanburg. I think that's close to Augusta. That's right down there towards the bottom of South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. What stuck out to me?
Williams is from.
You're right. What stuck out to me that he said he talked to Drew Pine, but he didn't say anything about TV. I think Drew Pine was like one of his hosts on his trip into Notre Dame. So,
and that's just, I know if I was there, I'd be talking to him. Obviously that's going to be your guy, but it goes back to the personality that the quarterback has to have. And
it's obvious that Drew Pine has personality.
Yeah, it come to your crib, you gotta say hello. You gotta run it like that's your place of business as well.
Right.
That's just what it requires at Notre Dame. Now, at a different school, that's different rules, but from what I believe works the best in terms of building a championship team off the field, from the quarterback position, you gotta have a hand in everything almost. Maybe not as in-depth as the head coach, but you got to know what's going on in the building. You got to know what recruits is coming in and out, because that plays a part into building your brand and getting the right people there, because it's going to help you at the end of the day.
That's it. Also, once again, happy birthday to the young king, Carnell Tate, on today. We didn't even know that when we released decided to release the interview last night.
Yeah, we should release it on his birthday.
Well, he should have released it on his birthday, but it turned out well. Royal Finger says, Shaun and Malik, is there any news on going for Kadir Ismail in the portal?
We like tall receivers, but I think right now we just gonna finish working on these recruits, getting ready for the spring. And it's kind of hard to tell when we got to see what the offense is going to look like with Tommy in full control, So I don't think it's going to look similar to what we saw in the Fiesta Bowl. I think it'll be somewhere in the middle, but until I can see that style of offense, maybe after the spring, I can give a better depiction on what we're even trying to do. Because we got talent at all three positions, running back, receiver, and tight end, but how are we going to put it together?
Yo, I just want to say, man, if you watched that game on Monday night, just really good to hear the news that Buda Baker is up and doing much better. The game of football is, I'll be honest with you, bro. I'm not one of these people that treat football like, these people are on the field entertaining me. And all I need is for them to entertain me, and I could care less about anything else. You all are people, just like anybody else. And you deserve our love, our respect, and our prayers. And man, I just pray that Buddha Baker, more than anything, can return to having a fully healthy life. If he never steps foot on a football field ever again, I just hope he has a successful life and is healthy and can enjoy his family. Like real talk. At the end of the day, man, it's still life after football.
Yeah, and I think you gotta. Those are one of those hits you gotta reconsider even wanting to come back.
Man,
and a lot of it too is that that was a bad tackle. He left his feet, and when you leave your feet like that, you don't have nothing that's giving you that bounce back.
Right.
When you get that recoil, so you just a body in the air, and then when somebody's running through that, you have no chance. So
yep,
it's just one of those things where if he ran through the tackle with his feet, he wouldn't have been in that position. So when even experienced guys do it, I know it's such a bang reaction play, and it's intense playoff intensity, but those type of hits, man, those take years off your life. If you're being honest, outside of just being able to be okay, that take years off regardless. So hopefully he can just decide for himself if it's even worth it.
I'm gonna tell you one time, bro, and I don't know if I ever told you this story offline. I grew up. You grew up in the neighborhood playing all sports. All sports. We play football in the park at the start of the day. Then we go to my boy's backyard to hoop to end the day, and then we all play Little League together in the neighborhood. So we were playing all sports together. So we all matriculated up to high school. Your boys played with you growing up. They're like, yo, come try out for football. I had no intentions. None. Didn't play my freshman year, so sophomore year, I let them talk me into it coming up to practice. First practice, Coach George Bocat. I'll never forget Coach Bocat. I guess he was upset about the way practice was going. They blew the whistle for break. I started running to get some water, and this dude kicked over the water, told us to get back out there. We did up and downs. I didn't make it and that was the first practice because we had 2 a days. I walked right across the street and hopped on the bus. And my boys was like, yo. And I'm like, no, man. Nah.
You did not in the middle of practice.
Nah. This ain't for me.
No, you did not in the middle of practice.
In the middle of practice, bro. Because I'm not about to fake the funk. I could be out here.
The first day?
First day, bro. First day of practice.
They can't even see. You are the reason why they don't even allow 2 days.
True story. And look, the football field is literally, you hop the fence. You hop the fence at the football field, and the bus stop is right there. They looked up. Your boy was getting on a 111, 115. Headed to the crib.
But what made that decision like this?
Because I didn't love it.
You didn't look around and be like,
I didn't love it. I was out there for my boys. And I didn't love it.
I'm not gonna let these boys like last longer than me. This is just what it is.
I didn't care about that. I was very clear and intentional and knew that my 2 loves were basketball and baseball.
That's fine. That's fair.
Football was a distant third. Right?
Distant. It wasn't even
and in order to go, this is what I'm saying. In order to go through that, like the stuff that you all go through, you have to love the game. And I knew I didn't love it.
Yeah, you definitely gotta love it to do it.
And I didn't need to have another practice to know. I knew it immediately. No, I don't love this. I don't love it.
You didn't wait the week, man. You make it seem like it was the boot camp of Marines or something.
No, I'm just saying. First of all, first of all, you're not going to stop me from getting some water. That's number one.
Oh, yeah,
Which eventually became an issue.
That's a part of it, though. That's just a part of getting tough and.
Number two,
You're not gonna stop him from getting no water.
Number two, you scream way too much, my man. You scream way. It's the first day.
Yeah.
We should just, dude, it's the first day. This is what y'all have to deal with. Now, mind you, my baseball coach was probably the most disrespectful coach you could ever have, dude.
So what happened?
Everybody had a nickname, but the way he did it, he didn't scream at you. He just let you know real on the low.
Like whisper to you, you sorry ass.
There you go. It was on the low. It was on the low, and it's like, man, come on, Coach Brown.
That's worse.
No.
Because you know why it's worse? Because if you do it like that, that means it's personal. Like I'm really trying to tell you one-on-one.
Not when he does it to everybody.
But
when you come in as a freshman. When you come in as a freshman and the dude that's about to get drafted in the second round at third base by the Angels is getting the same treatment, it's all
the yelling. But the yelling is because the personal talk is then it's like, am I supposed to say something back? When you get yelled at, it's like I ain't gonna respond because you doing it for show. It's like all right. But if it's personal, it's like, oh, this is a conversation. Like, oh, I'm supposed to respond and reply.
But my point is, I loved it. I loved the game.
Yeah.
So now when I love the game, I take that totally different.
Oh, okay. You didn't take the football yelling.
No. I'm here to kick it with my boys, being honest.
Oh, you trying to see you? That's the problem. You was trying.
My boys asked me to play. My boys asked me to play, so I said, okay.
This ain't recess, Shaun. That's messed up.
And that's my fault.
It was cool till they start really talking to you crazy.
Dude, I was like, nah, I don't love it that much. Water, I don't love it that much, bro. And you mean I have to go through this again in an hour? We get an hour break, and then we have another 2-hour practice? Nah. And it's the summertime?
See, I thought
you mean I have to sacrifice my summertime for this? Come on, bro.
It's worth it, bro. It was worth it.
No, it was worth it for you. Because you loved it. I loved it.
Baseball, you got to give up way more. Don't y'all play way more games?
No, we had travel. See, at that point, I was playing travel baseball, which meant we had 2 big tournaments.
Oh, you only had 2. Okay.
Right. And travel baseball is anybody that can speak travel baseball. So we had a tournament in Niles, Michigan, right? Which meant we had a host family. This host family had a house on the lake. Dude, so we were like jet skiing. Like this is travel baseball.
Okay.
We jet skiing on that lake, jumping into the lake, swimming, having a ball.
So you like the amenities because football
is
hard. You may be sleeping on the floor or something. You like, hey, this ain't cool.
I'm just saying that's that's another thing. Shout out to our boy Carnell.
Oh, that's funny.
But I'd like to say tip of the cap to his boy who was in the bunk bed behind him, trying to get some rest and allowed us to do
he got a class in the practice he got to go to. He trying to get them couple hours in.
Man, dude. See, people chiming in, man. Those 2 days in the middle of summer before school, that's not for everybody.
But what else was you going to do? That's my question. What was you going to do in that time?
Are you serious? Summertime shy?
Wait a minute. What are you going to do in that time?
Wait a minute. I hopped on that bus.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Immediately got the keys to the car. Because I think it's out. No, I didn't have my license quite yet. But
all your boys was at practice.
But somebody in the neighborhood had a car. And we went and kicked it. What are you talking about?
You said all your boys at practice. Come
on, dude. No. Literally. Our entire neighborhood, we had no one on a 2-block radius of my crib. We had like 95% boys. Like all of the families had all boys
Mm.
in the family. So it was a man.
Oh, it was deep. So you found somebody, brother, to
So
kick
we we had like squad. Each block had a squad. Each block had like a football team. And that's how we competed against one another. So, yeah, somebody was around the crib.
That's funny.
I would go hoop, or I would go, man, I'm not about to waste my time getting screamed at.
Oh, okay. So you just wanted the time to do whatever you wanted to do.
That's what anybody wants.
Well, football, it's the same thing. It's just only for an hour, man.
No. Once again, you missed it. It was 2-hour practices. 2-hour practices in the middle of summer.
But think about it. You get your exercise on. You get to compete for a little bit. It's 4 hours out of the 20, so you got a whole day.
Come on, man. I get it. You were in Ohio. I get it. So you missed out. I understand.
See, now you want to talk about the city. We ain't talk about the
summertime
city.
In Dayton doesn't hit the same as summertime in Chicago. So I understand. Yeah, that's all you all had to do was like go to football practice.
No, we had a bunch of stuff. It just so happened all my friends was playing, and that was the thing to go. You go to football, and then you do everything after, man. Go to the mall. We go skating,
And you loved it, right?
Yeah, it was great.
That's the point. That's the only point I'm trying to make. You loved it. I knew immediately that I hated it. I knew immediately that I hated it.
He said he looked around. No, I'm getting over that fence, man. I'm out of here.
I'm looking at my boys like, wait a minute, y'all love this? Like, man,
Shaun, where you going? Shit, I ain't coming back, dog.
I'm telling you, they looked up. I had my bag, hopped the fence, and I was right there at the bus, boy.
Across the street, so they saw you just
No, not across the street. Hop the fence, and the bus stop is right there. Literally right there.
And they're like, Shaun, you all right? No, man, I'm not all right.
No, they came looking for me when they got home. When they got back to the hood, they came looking for me.
You was kicking.
No, we talked you up to coach. Told you were coming. I'm like,
you in a whole nother fit. You always come to.
I was like, man, look. And man, it was crazy because, man, every time I would walk past him in the hallways for the rest of my time in high school, that dude would like give me a look.
Like, dang, you done walked out on us, bro.
Like he had big plans for me or something. I'm like, dude, you barely saw what I could do. And I was playing corner. That's what I wanted to play.
Yeah.
I wanted to play corner, but I'm
you didn't want to help out that Irish man.
Dude, it was the most boring practice, dude, because we ran the ball like 95% of the time.
Oh, you went to the wrong high school. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's all.
So practice was like I'm standing out at corner, and then on defense we playing like 10 yards off the ball.
Okay.
So it's when you play your boys, you bump and run when you playing at the park.
Can't do that.
Right. So there was nothing about that practice that made me say, okay, I like this. Nothing. And we ran the same run plays over and over again.
Yeah, you got to get the blocking right.
No, fam. You keep that. Now, maybe if I went to Lakewood, where y'all going 4 or 5 wide,
No, you need that run game. Listen, the playoffs come up, you need that run game. It's just, but that's what you love, hitting them creases and then you getting the combos right. And man, what? That's what you want. That's like making a good dish.
Yeah, Shaun, did you at least get to hit somebody? No, that's my point. No, I didn't get to do nothing, man. Nothing.
See, the thing was, that's the second practice.
We was playing tag out there, dude.
You're supposed to condition and get right the first practice, and then you hit the second practice. You missed the action. You missed the best part.
So Chadwick Brown playing football in high school was what got me turned on to rugby. We had to play a spring sport, and a teammate got me to play rugby in the spring. Played 4 years of rugby. See, Chadwick,
See, that's rugby cool like that. So you probably should have did rugby because that's more like how we used to play in backyard.
Now, I will say this. If I grew up on the East Coast, I most definitely believe I would have loved lacrosse. I really do. I would have loved lacrosse.
They love lacrosse over there, but I was just
lacrosse is basically like basketball on grass.
Man,
that's all it is. I mean, hockey on grass, but it still has basketball concepts.
They hit me with that stick. It's going to be a discrepancy. That's like hitting somebody out of bounds already. It's like, come on, bro. That ain't even. That's no strategy.
Right.
You know what I mean? That ain't
Malik. Thank you, Jay Clampett. Malik talking trash to me when he had on a red jersey at practice. Didn't nobody touch him?
See, that's college.
And he's involved in every play.
That was college, though. And then, you got
to pick the right position. High school?
Wait a minute.
You played offense in high school, right?
Wait a minute. You got to pick the right position now.
Now, maybe I picked the wrong position. I'll keep it a buck. You're right. I screwed that one up. I'll jump. You're right. You're absolutely right.
You're going to play the best part.
You're right.
What I'm saying? Like, dang, you want to play the outskirts where,
Right.
That's when you got to love the game. You got to love the game way out there.
Right.
It don't take a lot to love the game when you in it because it's like you better do something or your ass gonna get hurt.
Oh man. Hey, Pierre, look, all I'm saying is the one thing I could do was run. And the one thing I always wanted to do and love to do when we played at the park, I love tackling. No,
yeah, growing up, even without football, you just tackling people. That's what kids do, especially boys growing up. We just tackle. He's like, what'd you say?
And you always have like one person that's bigger than everybody. And for a long time, they used to like just running through everybody as kids. But by the time we got to high school, I'm like, okay. All right. You had that one person in the neighborhood that had the bench with the weights.
Straight up.
Everybody went to their crib to lift. At the same time, it's like, I had a little something by the time we got to high school. So it's
time passed.
Yeah. And then you learn to tackle and hit the legs.
Yeah, it's a wrap. The gator roll. Yeah, it's you in there.
Let's see. John Clemick is laughing. I'm so John. I ran to the bus stop, bro.
That last little bit you had in practice, you got to the bus stop with.
Man, John Clemick says, "Ooh, man, that fourth practice when the pads go on. See, I never made it to the pads. Bro.
That's what I'm saying. You missed You was at the part where they try to make people quit. That's the point. They got you.
Well, that's exactly what they made me do. That's exactly what they made me do.
Because you know why? It's usually not enough pads, so you need to thin out the herd by the time it comes to pads. That's why they do that. But, nowadays, it's whatever.
Let's see. And that one Frost, freshman, sophomore, that thought he was next and skipped those morning workouts, but did skip running his mouth. I didn't run my mouth. Like I said, my whole purpose was to come enjoy time with my boys.
Yeah, he was going to kick it like the clubhouse. This ain't the clubhouse, Shaun.
That was my entire purpose. Like, we keep it a buck. Like, I didn't do it. Because we were a playoff team every year, but we weren't like contenders for a state championship, anything like that.
That was in the middle of the road anyway.
We were contenders for the city championship. And as far as the state championship, man, second, third game, we would get bounced. We would win a couple of games in the state tournament. And then, we just didn't have enough to beat either the Catholic schools or beat the suburban schools. We were talented, but our coaching staff was minimal. Man, our weight room was trash.
So you had a bad experience around the sport.
No, but that's just keeping it a buck. That's the public school experience in Chicago.
No, I agree.
There's a lack of resources. And I think it's gotten a lot better. Carnell talked about that, how resources are getting a little bit better in public schools. But, football is still dominated by the private schools in the inner city. and the suburban programs. And it's always going to be that way.
Straight up.
But hey, and there's no shame on my game. I'm cool.
Yeah, you made it out.
If I had to do it all over again, I still wouldn't make it to the fourth practice.
You would make it to that fourth practice, even knowing what you know now.
For what? Things turned out great.
You could have been helping the Irish, man. You never know.
No,
you could have been DBU. The reason why you and Ty Light.
I am helping the Irish right now. That Carnell Tate interview.
Yeah, we threw Carnell.
Petticoat, Petticoat Junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something?
And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty historic Petty Junction?
That's right, Petty Junction every day right here. So we always talk to former Notre Dame players, and we always ask them one question: who was the best hooper on the football team when you were there? Last night I had the honor of watching a Big Ten Network documentary about the relationship between Notre Dame's women's basketball head coach, Nail Ivy, and the relationship between her and her son, Jaden Ivy, big-time player at Purdue. And they had all of this footage of Jaden Ivy shooting baskets at Notre Dame as a kid. I don't know where they got this footage from, but I'm like, I got to throw every Notre Dame football player, basketball player that ever came across this kid on the petty train. Why is this kid playing basketball at Purdue? Mike Gray.
Now, wait a minute.
Hold on. All y'all going on the petty train today.
Wait a minute. No, not me.
Because
not
if
me.
Jaden Ivy,
Not me.
if Jaden Ivy and Blake Wesley were on the same squad, Notre Dame basketball would be pretty good. But I blame all of you that shot hoops with this young man. All of you. That allowed his mind to get outside of South Bend. All of you are to blame.
I was the first. I can be the only one I can vouch. You can ask the coach. You can ask everybody. I was the one when he was growing up. I was shooting basketball with him. I'm surprised I wasn't in the footage. And I said he should have been recruited. And I asked Coach Ivy why. Back then, she was like, I don't know. So I'm with you. I put the whole university on staff. The fact that she played there won, she's coached there and coached one, and now she's the head coach. And you didn't even what? And then they said they came late. You know, Johnny come lately. How you come late and he was shooting in your backyard literally?
Man, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life, bro. Most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. Now I got to throw, I don't know who the company is, but if you checked out the Gunner interview on the Breakfast Club, he talked about him and Young Thug being on the PJ, paying for the plane, paying for the food to be catered. They never got the food on the plane. They were pump faking like they were about to take off. The stewardess called the authorities to have them put off the plane because she felt insulted. Man, need I go on? Dude, that entire aviation company and the entire staff, including the pilot, has to go on the petty train.
Has to. And I think a lot of it because they didn't get them no finger licking. They said they had finger licking from Miami. That's one of the best places to get food from. I'll be kind of upset too. Man,
I never had finger licking from down there. Have you?
It's the place to be. Gotta get you some, man.
Really?
It's worth kicking somebody off the plane for.
Really? When I go to Miami, I usually hit Bal Harbor, But I usually stay in Fort Lauderdale because I don't like the hustle and bustle.
You
Like
know,
the days of staying on the beach and all of that. Man, give me some peace. And if I want to drive to Miami, it's a quick 20-minute trip. I'm there, park on Collins or somewhere around there, walk up and down the strip and enjoy myself.
well,
You
you can
have
do
not
both.
you have not done Miami. The top 3 people to go do Miami with will probably be someone in the entertainment business. Miami. I don't know how it is now. But back in the day, a Miami football player, not the Miami Dolphins, the University of Miami.
It was more popular.
Man, back then, and probably any type of celebrity. Those are probably the 3 types you want to do Miami with.
Yeah, anybody that's on some media in some form, sports entertainment or something, or
Yeah.
even real estate. You know, them real estate people go down there in Miami, go crazy. So, you know.
Andrew Palmiere, we appreciate you. Y'all crack me up, man. Thank you, and thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you. Now, can I get weird for a second? Because this story had me dying, and I think it's petty for one specific reason. So a story broke and was trending, and I couldn't get to it yesterday. There's a story come out that people are like discussing whether or not 41-year-old tennis star, sister of Serena Williams, Venus Williams, is still a virgin. Now, I personally thought she had been married before.
I thought so too.
And come to find out she wasn't. And people in her camp, for some reason, leaked this story and it became big time news. And my point is like, why are we talking about that? Like, who cares? It's mad petty to put her name out there over a story about this, as if I don't care either way.
Yeah, I don't think somebody was checking for it. They're like, damn, for real?
That's what it was.
I think it was like this. They let some people down. Some people were encouraged. Some people, you know, whatever.
Like somebody breaks up with you in high school and you show up first to school the next day to put something out, trying to establish your own narrative.
Just in case anybody was wondering.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I think we missed one more super chat. Here we go. Chadwick Brown is Jaden Everett on the radar for running back coach. To be honest, man, that running back coach situation.
It was nice to see an in-staff hire, maybe an assistant get boosted up to that position. I think it would be good just because we can keep some attention there, and it would be cohesive to the offense instead of getting another guy to be a wave disruptor with time. So
yeah,
maybe an in-staff hire would help.
Yeah. And I missed this one. I wanted to get to it. Matt Loss. Why isn't everyone talking about Jaylen Brown? I know Tate is the number one priority, but for a while it seemed like Brown had interest. He and Tate would be fired. Actually, yesterday I gave my top 3 targets for the staff. Jaylen Brown was number 2. So I don't think the staff is sleeping on Jaylen Brown at all. He's definitely a high priority. Would he be a tougher get? Look, Notre Dame at this point, the way everything is going, they can get whomever they want.
Thanks.
D. Beasy says they should be happy she not ran through. Who wants something?
D. Beasy wilding this morning.
Wow. Yeah, that's mad. Like, who cares, man? Are we really talking about that? Thank you for the super chat. Props to you both keeping it light and spinning it different. We appreciate you, Ashley Hill. We promise to do that always. Yeah, so if you missed the Carnell Tate interview, please go over. It is archived on our YouTube channel at Lucky Lefty Podcast. Don't forget, as always, we are available on Apple Podcasts, on A2S Network. Just search A2S Network, and you'll be able to get all of our shows on Apple Podcasts. That's really picking up as well. Our numbers on Apple Podcasts are picking up. So we appreciate you guys greatly. Don't forget, next Tuesday, Cam McDaniel is going to jump on, Malik's former teammate, former running back. Man, all-around businessman, cutting deals internationally. We'll have him on Tuesday on the Lucky Lefty Podcast.
That's right.
And then we'll let you know, guys, know a little bit later about our next interview. Hopefully, we'll have a big-time interview this weekend to release on next week. So look for that as well. So, as always, remember, Onora Whisky, we are featuring and brought to you by Onora Whisky. Go to OnoraWhisky.com. It's the premium American whiskey, OnoraWhisky.com. Subscribe, share. Most of all, hit that like button. Hit that like button. We appreciate you, LL Nation. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning for another edition of the Lucky Lefty Podcast. As always, spin it different today.